Too much dilly-dallying and making fun around these parts. It's time for some serious work.
Hello? Yeah, okay.
Thoughts on the light?
It's direct, which I appreciate in a person, and a light.
All right.
Let me ask something that's a little bit more direct.
Please. I have a pragmatic orientation towards life. Oh, I related to a lot of what you talked about in your stand-up. The way you sort of describe experiences that most people take for granted as nothing, and the way you experience those differently. Like the, hey, how are you?
Good.
Do you remember that bit from your...
Yeah, I was just acting. But I'm with you. When somebody asks me that, I need to figure out what could I say to them that doesn't feel like a lie to me.
Right.
That goes as close as I'm willing to go to a lie.
Yeah.
That then offers enough cushion that what I said to them lets us just catch the football and throw it back and move on.
Yeah.
You connect with that. Superman.
I think Superman does too. It's fun. I'm answering a lot of questions about Superman as I'm doing press for this movie. I've been saying a lot that Superman has a little bit of that, where he kind of misses some obvious things that people take for granted, but he does it in the direction of believing in people and believing in good. And
is this something that you brought to it, or is this something that...
I think so. What is slutty little glasses?
You know what slutty little
Pretend
glasses
you don't
are.
know what you're doing.
Come on. I mentioned it to you the other day.
I don't understand what it is.
I know you know.
I'm sorry. I'm telling the truth. Explain it to me.
Slutty
What
little
is slutty
glasses
little
summer.
glasses?
We moved on
when you
from
put those
Brad.
glasses on, you behave like that.
What?
You invented slutty little glasses, Summer, and you don't even know it.
Oh, that's
Jonathan
pretty cool.
stole it from him.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
You've got competition then.
So true, bestie.
No, he... oh, yeah. Sure. What was the question? Man, my other answer is like a great big band jazz, you know, like big trumpets, a big opening, that kind of thing.
Have the cats follow you around?
Yeah, I love
Nobody?
cats. Are you making fun of me?
No.
You...
I'm trying to relate to you on a spiritual level. It's not working.
When did you find out you had this role?
June 27th, 2023, at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Is that really the time?
I think so.
Amazing.
I'm not sure there'll be a next one after this.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
Oh, you're Jewish.
Yeah, half.
Right. I just saw him. I was in the, I did this, the half being the person who was like, oh, it's not going to be good.
Right,
That was the half
yes,
I'm
you
saying.
saw him, yes. I thought you meant my Jewish father who's dead.
Him being the Jewish half.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
For?
What happened to your dad?
Oh, well, it wasn't your fault.
I don't mean I'm sorry. I'm not saying I'm sorry I didn't do it. I'm just sorry that it happened.
This is the most perfect trio. Thanks.
I think it's Neapolitan ice cream.
Chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. That's my favourite.
Who's who?
No. He's not saying we're near.
my favourite. That's my
I
favourite
know,
trio.
I know.
Is it emotional coming back?
I wouldn't describe what I feel at the moment as like emotional. Like I don't feel like I'm gonna cry or like I'm overwhelmed with, but thinking about a lot of things, and I'm remembering a lot of things, and they're very special memories. Early on, I asked James if they were auditioning dogs. I thought he's a very well-behaved dog and he has a great look.
And he's wearing the outfit, yeah.
Well, he wasn't wearing the outfit. We put him in that outfit.
Oh. I just thought he'd normally just put it on.
Yeah.
I said, quite a change of life, I'd imagine. And you very defiantly said,
Nope.
no.
Nope. No, it's just a change to one's psychology. But nothing really, I mean, all that changed was that I didn't have to keep looking for a different job.
Do you still feel that?
No, but it's not because I was wrong at that moment. It's because you talked to me before we filmed the movie. And before you film the movie, all you know is that you get to film the movie. Does anybody ever say to you like, oh, you excited to go to Philly, for instance? You got a show in Philly. You excited to go to Philly? And your brain goes, well, in this moment, I'm not feeling excited. So I have to answer no. But then they get confused. And you're like, no, it's not. When I'm in Philly, I'll be having a good time. It's a cool city. Maybe you don't think that, but you shouldn't tell me. So, but you get that, you understand that experience of like, well, I'm not excited in this moment, so I can't.
So right
answer
now
yes.
you're not having fun, but
what
later
you
on,
mean by what a human would mean by excited. Yes, I'm excited. I'm that.
Like you kind of manifested this role because in a 2019 interview, I imagine you get asked this a lot. You said Superman would be your dream role, specifically like a bright and optimistic version.
I said pie in the sky ambition.
Yes.
And I didn't manifest it because manifesting is something that you're sort of picturing in order to make happen. And for me, I was picturing it because other people were saying it to me. And I thought surely 100% definitely would never happen. So I sort of inversely manifested it. This just goes to show, manifestation is great. And also, just accepting that some things in life will never happen is also great. It's a little bit of a character that you put on when you're doing press, which is like a version of you, but not quite you. With Nick, it's actually more fun because I feel about Nick kind of how I feel about you, which is that he's funnier than I am and he's quicker than I am. I brought my emotional support actor, Nick. And so it's more like I actually have trouble sometimes doing press with him because I'm trying to be funnier to like match him, and I did a little bit of that. I think there's a.
I love this stuff.
There's a.
What?
I'm just going blank. So hang on. So I just have to refocus.
No,
I'm in this liminal space where because this isn't like a press thing, I'm not in my mode. I'm just here sitting with you. What is your own red flag? What does that mean?
Red flag is like a warning to others of like, what is the thing that you do that's like that people should.
Oh, the red flag of me that
Yeah.
probably that I correct people on tiny little grammatical or syntactical errors.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels a lot less romantic when you're being hoisted in the air by your underwear, which is essentially how the harnesses work.
He has one less testicle since,
Wow.
One fewer.
You're very pernickety.
Yeah. Persnickety.
See?
Well done.
Lucas helped, or Lucas did it. Spielberg gave it to Lucas.
What?
You went to Juilliard. You know what I'm talking about. Who directed Indiana Jones?
Spielberg. Lucas gave it to Spielberg. One thing that's sort of odd and unexpected is I can get a little bit panicky when I'm physically restrained in certain ways. Truly like wearing socks and then shoes on top of the socks. If I get aware, it's laughable, but the feeling inside is real panic. It's not like a pet peeve, like, oh, that annoys me. If I become aware of the fact, as I'm doing now, as I describe it, my sock inside my shoe, I have a real strong urge to take off my shoe, take off my sock, and like have the freedom. So this is the thing. So the costume is incredibly restrictive, and so I the first time I put it on, I thought, oh God, I'm going to spend hours and hours and hours in this suit, and I started to panic a little bit about that, and it was completely unexpected. I hadn't thought about that fact. The solutions were two mainly. Three. I got used to the suit a little bit. My dresser, Scotty, was fantastic. And then the third solution, oh, now I've forgotten the third solution. Get out of it quick and...
Well, hello.
Look who's here.
Darling.
Hello, Dolly. Music. I would start singing or humming Hello, Dolly, or we would play it from a phone. And that would sort of get my mind out of my body and yeah. I just wanted that moment where I knew what you were talking about. And if I didn't, there was so much, especially in the first couple of years here, of like, act before you know. You don't need to know, just do it. And I did quite a lot of that. But at some point I started going, I think it's kind of imprecise. If that's all you're doing, then anybody tells you to jump off a cliff, you jump off a cliff. What you want to be able to do is say, why this cliff? Why now? And where are we hoping I'm going to land? So I just like to get clear about that kind of thing.
You know what his big problem is? He's always quoting things and I don't get
Me
quotes.
too.
So actually it's my problem.
Me
But he's
too.
always quoting things and I'll be like, what are you talking about? Why are you saying that? And
But he
it's like,
says
it's a
it-
quote from something.
but he says it like it's just
so
a
quickly in
sentence.
passing.
Yeah.
And then
And
it's
we're all
always
just like-
quotes from things. And I'm like, he only talks in quotes.
Tastes like eating wax. Absolutely.
You eat a lot of wax as well?
Yeah, that's how I know. Earwax. Try.
Alas, earwax. You like jazz?
I do now.
Do you?
Yeah.
You know, as Alec Guinness says, in my experience, there's no such thing as luck. The Princess Bride is a good example where, like, there are plenty of actors in there who people may not know the names of. Of course, I know all of them. Once people start thinking of you as punk rock, then they start expecting punk rock, and then it's nothing but work, work, work.
Once word leaks out that a pirate has gone soft, people begin to disobey you, and then it's nothing but work, work, work all the time.
It's funny, I've spent the last few years building up an immunity to kryptonite.
I spent the last few years building up an immunity to iocane powder.
I want you to feel as though you are doing well. I hate for you to lose embarrassed.
I just want you to feel you're doing well. I hate for people to die embarrassed.
Sing the chorus of the last song you listened to, a cappella style.
Oh, I was made for this moment. Are you kidding? Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Don't you know everyone wants to laugh? Ha ha! My grandpa said, be an actor, my son, but be a comical one.
If you had a day job where you could be similarly anonymous, what would you be doing?
Oh, I'd be flying planes for sure. Yes. Give me like just wouldn't even have to be big planes, just sort of medium-sized planes, regional jets.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'd get tired of them eventually and want to move up to the big, the A380s and whatnot. The aviation communication, the uniforms are I mean they don't look that comfortable or that flattering most of the time, but frankly, just to wear a uniform would be cool.
The wings.
The wings are nice, and I like the sense of responsibility of going to work every day and feeling like you got to do good work. Otherwise, people will get mad at you.
And die.
Yeah.
What's something that you nerd out about?
I'll give a two-part answer. Star Wars.
We know that. Yes,
comes to
we know,
like
Dave.
literature, and then aviation, specifically aviation communication. I will listen to air traffic control recordings on YouTube for hours and hours and hours.
It's
I
nerdy.
just find it to be so cool.
Really nerdy.
Yeah, the way. Yeah.
Rachel, what about you?
Where were you going with that?
Too far.
Too far.
Yeah.
Quit while
We'll
you're
sit down for a while. We can talk through it. Wait, before we do that, can I ask? Do you watch the rehearsal?
I have not seen the second season yet, and I hear it's wild.
Did you like the first season?
Yeah, loved.
Okay, I think the second season is like the sharper version of the first season. I also love planes, so the specific focus on aviation is like turns me on immensely.
Great.
And so I highly recommend. Really interesting. He goes further. I think it's great television. I'm happy to hear you watch that and like it. And let's rehearse. And then my other hot take is, have you seen Casino Royale?
The James Bond
Yes.
film with what's
Daniel Craig.
A long time ago.
Okay, so, oh gosh, do you remember the opening in black and white?
Can't say I do.
There's a MI6 guy who's been stealing secrets and selling them on the side, and Bond has been sent to go take care of him, so he confronts him in his office, it's all black and white, very noir. The guy pulls out his gun, click, no bullets. Bond says, I know you'll keep your gun. He says, what happened to him? And Bond says, your contact? How did he die? And Bond says, not well. And it flashes back to this big fight that just happened with the contact.
Okay,
Bond has to cut out, obviously, but Bond ends up having to drown him in a sink. It's like really brutal. Meanwhile, after the fact, in the office with the cricket guy, he's saying things like, oh, made you feel it, did he? Because Bond's not a double yet, so he hasn't killed anybody yet. That's the whole point. And it takes 2 kills to become a double.
Okay.
So the first kill, he's saying, is always the hardest. Right. And like my contact made you drown him in a sink. That's a real terrible way to kill somebody. He says, don't worry, the second is, and then Bond shoots him. And Bond says, yes, considerably. The point being that he's saying the second one's much easier. And Bond finishes the sentence by, yes, it's very easy to kill you. But the brilliant thing is, about this film, it's a great film, it's the greatest Bond film ever made. It's one of the best movies of all time, I think. You then, after this guy's dead on his chair, you flash back to the bathroom where Bond drowned the contact. And he's going to pick up his gun. And the contact wakes up, he's not drowned, he's still alive. Grabs his gun, spins on Bond, and Bond shoots him, and then you go in the intro. My hot take is, everybody thinks that the second kill is when Bond kills the main bad guy in the office later. And it's like, yes, considerably. But what actually happened is, experientially, Bond already had his second kill because he drowned the guy and then had to shoot him. So in his experience, he had to go through drowning the guy, thought he was dead, thought that he had his first kill. And then the guy woke up and he just shot him. So that's actually the second kill. In his mind, that was super easy.
So you're doing technicalities now.
But no, it's a human experience thing. The point is not the second person you kill, it's the second experience. Right. A decision. Well, yes, and the follow-through, the fact that you didn't have to drown the guy, just shot him the second time. I'm sure you'll call that out. It's somewhere, it was not going to come up anywhere else in press.
He loves Star Wars too much.
The Death Star is in range. You may fire when ready. I have you now. What? Yahoo! You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home. You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home. Stand by. Stand by. Bitch, that's it. That was 1 in a million.
David, do your best celebrity impression.
But I don't really, I feel
want to
I'm
do it?
embarrassed now. It's
Come
tough
on.
to do impressions on the spot. It's really
Pretend
not my
no
thing.
one's here.
Well, okay,
Close
my
our eyes.
favorite impression to do is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Who's the more foolish, the fool or the fool that follows him? In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
Keep going.
That's it. That's all I know.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, where are the shots? Star Wars.
Star Wars.
We've started taking a shot, an imaginary shot every time we
So
hear Star
true,
Wars and
so
Juilliard.
true.
Please cast him as an X-Wing fighter pilot.
All right, the real reason I brought you here today is to talk about Star Wars. Let's get fucking
Thank
serious.
goodness.
Are you out of your mind? Can I give you a hot take?
Yeah.
Anakin was valid in everything he did. I recently rewatched episode 1 and 2.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
To say that Anakin was valid in everything that he did,
Yeah,
and
what's
then
wrong?
to not mention episode 3. Well, obviously, if you don't watch episode 3, there's
Yeah,
a
what's
better
up?
argument for it all.
What are you talking about? A certain order or something like that?
It's just not even that. I mean, honestly, like it was almost like was it necessary? Was it part of the order technically? Because
Here's the thing though, right? Padme, so in love with Padme. Do anything for love? That's valid.
I mean, who wouldn't?
Exactly. Obi-Wan ultimately is a boomer, and I hate to say it, but it's true.
Yeah, well, he wasn't the one who was supposed to train Anakin. That was supposed to be Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon had the experience
that.
and the instinct and and frankly the love, which in the Jedi Order is not terribly encouraged. But Qui-Gon went against the Order in feeling this great love for the kid and having the sense. And if it had been Qui-Gon, he probably would have gone better. But that said, Obi-Wan is also justified because he made a promise to his dying master. He's got
absolutely
to
did.
follow through, and he cares about the kid too.
Yeah, I could be your droid. Yeah.
Can you do the scream?
What?
No, you have to now.
Like when he gets
What a tease.
injured, when R2 gets injured or
I've
blasted.
never tried.
Oh,
Do the scream.
I haven't done it in a while. I'm not sure this will work. Everybody, careful. That wasn't great. I have a friend who can do it perfectly every time.
I'd say that's pretty good.
Which one's that?
This is what he said.
Oh.
What are your hot takes? What are your Star Wars hot takes?
Star Wars hot take is you should watch them. If you're going to introduce new people to them, you should watch them 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6.
That's crazy.
So you preserve the twist of, spoiler alert, Darth Vader's his father.
It's been out for 60 years.
And then but some 5-year-old is going to watch this. And your target audience. Mine too. And then you watch 1 through 3 as a flashback, essentially. And then 6 is it's not as strong as 4 and 5 as a film, but it's a great culmination of the whole thing. It brings it all together. The stakes are bigger. If you've seen 1 through 3, it feels more like a saga. I have this great big, whatever the collector's edition Millennium Falcon Lego that my wife got me as a wrap gift when I finished Superman. And it's still sitting in my closet at home. And I saw it the other day and I thought, maybe that's what I'll do on opening weekend. I'll just turn my phone off and do this enormous Lego for 2 days. Film, you have this sort of epilogue, which can often feel kind of underwhelming compared to shooting the thing, because I'm not getting to do my thing, which is act. I have to do this thing, which is like be a human.
Not interested.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. I wish I were better at it. Ultimately, the thing that is so relatable about him is that he is lonely. That despite the fact that he is surrounded by these wonderful friends and he has this supportive family and a wonderful relationship with Lois Lane, he's not a human being. And he's not from this place that humanity is from, and he wants to belong here, but he doesn't know whether he really does, ultimately. Mm-hmm. He doesn't share the vulnerabilities that bond us as humans. The human heroes, the everyday heroes in our lives, are heroes because they come in and save the day. That's what makes people heroes. If we were all Superman, you wouldn't need a hero. So humanity is bonded by their vulnerability and the fact that they're going to die, and Superman is sort of left out of that. And he wants desperately to be a part of them.
You were seen as difficult because you were always asking questions.
Yeah, and that's not in the past tense. If you talk to James, I mean, that's the one area where I'm difficult. And very quickly that can start to sound like an argument, unless it can sound argumentative to people.
David, as you know, people know by now who have been watching, has a lot of questions. And he's got a lot, he just questions everything all the time.
Right.
And he's a very actory actor.
Yeah. What you got for hiring Juilliard.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to test that Juilliard brain.
They didn't like that part of me at Juilliard either. They were not happy about that.
He came in, I was so nervous about it because I'm like, it could be too cheesy. I may not believe him when he says it. And he comes in and he delivers the speech beautifully. And so I'm like, thank you, Jesus, right? And then I said, okay, that was great. Let's do it again, but do it more intensely. Right. You know, be louder with it.
Yeah.
And so David does it again. He does it the way I wanted him to do it, and he does it more intensely. I'm like, that's even better. Holy crap. I'm like, David, do it like that one more time like that, because so David, David starts to give the speech again, and then he stops and he says, James, I just don't know. I just had this conversation with my father about, this stuff. So I don't feel like I should be, I'm not sure I would be upset because I've been, kind of cured by my dad. And it's like blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay. And I say, no, David, because of this. And we're have this back and forth going where, the point of it is that just because logically his dad has taught him what's right, it doesn't mean emotionally the words Lex is saying don't hurt his feelings.
Right.
And that you can be somewhere with your logic and your emotions are still there. And this is about him owning his emotions and experiencing his emotions and being honest in that moment, even though his dad, his conversation with his dad changed him forever.
Right.
And he came in, and I was saying it in a much stronger way than that. And David came in, and I actually see him come in the other room, and he's like, and I'm like, no, you feel this. It's in here. It's about what's in your heart. And I'm hitting him in the heart. And then all of a sudden David looks at me and he goes, got it. And then he walks back in stage and he delivers the speech. And it's absolutely beautiful.
The one thought that I had about Superman before I made my audition tape was that the things that people think make Superman uninteresting, the fact that he's essentially all-powerful, he's very highly powered, and he doesn't really have emotional angst. He really is a good person with a good upbringing. He doesn't have some crazy internal struggle. That those are not his weaknesses. Those are actually what make him an interesting character. And as Grant Morrison says, people say, well, then where is the drama? Where are the stakes? He says all of the most interesting ones, the relational ones, the emotional stakes, the feeling of loneliness and isolation, of alienation from the people who he wants to be with the most, combined with the fact that he is a good person and wants to keep doing what he's doing. He never feels burdened with his responsibilities. He loves what he gets to do. What makes that film and other great films that I go back and rewatch, Star Wars, timely to me, is the human story, the story of good people coming together to do their best, to overcome great obstacles and to protect each other and help each other, and in the end, triumph, even if it's only for a moment. I think you want to see good people doing their best triumph. I grew up on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Those were the superhero movies that I saw in theaters and that were really sort of relevant to me. And I think as a kid, I wouldn't describe myself as a kid who fit in that well, being a fan of the Marx Brothers. I had one very close friend who also was a fan of the Marx Brothers, and everybody else was kind of confused by me, I would say. There's something very romantic about the Peter Parker superhero story, which is that you're a nerd that gets bullied and then you get these amazing powers and you get to do cool things with them. And Superman, I think, is a different kind of superhero fantasy for a kid. Once I became an adult, a young adult, but I was in New York and I was living with roommates and navigating New York, I would always sort of be branded the dad of the group. I was the one who, wanted to make sure that, people weren't drinking too much and people were wearing their seatbelts, not in New York, but, the people were taken care of and looked after. And I didn't feel the need to be cool. I'd given up on that. I always wanted to be cool as a kid. And then by the time I got into theater school, I had given up on that. But I focused on trying to be a voice of reason and safety and stability. I wanted to be somebody who people could come to if they had issues.
When people had problems, they came to you, they talked to you.
I hoped that they would. And in moments they definitely did. But sometimes you don't go to dad with your problems, you go to your friends. And so sometimes I was the last person that people would come to. But that's also, I think,
that's a role.
It's a role, and it was a role I was very proud to be put in a couple of times with some close friends. And the smoke alarm started going off, and I was in my room in my underwear, and as soon as the smoke alarm went off, I burst out of my room, grabbed a chair, stood on it, and pressed the silence button. And in that moment, they were panicking. They had no idea how to turn it off. This thing was filled with smoke, and so I ran out and got on the chair and pressed the hush button or whatever it is. And the classmate just sort of like looked at me. You come running out of your room in your underwear and you like save the day. You literally are Superman. And I remember her saying Superman in that moment, and thinking, that's so cool that me in my underwear turning a smoke alarm off at 11 p.m. is Superman. That's Superman energy. And I think Superman as the dad figure is right in a way, where that thing of like, he's not the cool guy. He's not he's not necessarily the guy you look at and you think, I want to be that guy. You're like, I want to have that guy around. I want to hang out with my friends and get into trouble. And when things go bad, I want him to show up to save the day. With a glimmer of, you look ridiculous. You're in your underwear. This is ridiculous. The trunks was the same idea. The problem with the trunks is that they look kind of silly. And you can argue against it. You can try to make them not silly. This is what James was trying. James was, I think, very pro trunks in theory, but was struggling to find a way to not make them look silly. His first tactic was his general tactic, which is to try to find a reason for them, a utility for them. But he struck out there. And so my contribution, I think, was to say, what if the point is that they look a little silly? And the reason that Superman wants to look a little silly is because he doesn't need to look cool. He doesn't want to look cool. He wants to be Clark Kent. He wants to be the normal bumbling guy who's, just barely fitting in at work. There's a piece of that with Superman as well, which is like, you've seen me catch falling buildings and blow up, whatever with my laser vision and fight these amazing superpowered foes. I don't want you to think I'm not approachable. I don't want you to think you couldn't come up to me and ask for directions or ask for help, or for a kid to, ask for help with his homework, or, my cat's stuck in the tree. He wants to do all of that.
Also, this is a separate idea and note, but you need to stop saying that you're not good at press and that you don't answer questions well, because you do. You're very articulate and smart and thoughtful with your answers.
You play basketball? I can't talk.
So this is something you're imagining.
Take the audio out.
And the more you
Or
say
we
it
could
and
just
believe it,
raise Nick's voice.
it will come.
Do I play basketball?
Where you're actually
I
very
used
good
to
at
play
press and doing a
when I
brilliant
was like
job.
3.
So stop saying that.
Then when it ask me again.